Welcome back to Sipas Spimmer Car again. It's time to do some work on this E30 of mine, this thing here. There's two major things. First of all, it's losing oil pressure when I'm doing some, let's say, sporty driving. So that's a major thing because it's currently preventing me to drive this properly. Second thing is that the front end still handles like shit. The back end is quite okay after the mods I have done for it, but the front end is still loose and it doesn't auto steer or anything like that. So we need to take care of that. And then there's some smaller maintenance items, like it's leaking coolant somewhere, the front rotors are warped, and then there's this thing. So yes, there's something loose in the steering. So all of those things mean that I need to take apart the front end. I mean all the arms, then the front subframe, everything like that to access the oil pan, the engine, and then the steering and everything. So let's get started with that. I think the main reason for the oil pressure problems is this. So the car is now on level ground, and if I put this thing on top of the engine, you can see that it's leaning backwards. So if I raise this one, so this is level. So front of the engine is now 1 centimeter higher than the back of the engine. It might not sound much, but when you put M50, M52 or anything in the E30, you need to use the front sump oil pan. And now when the engine is laying back like this little downhill here on the oil pan, it doesn't work very well. So I think now all the oil is pulling on the back side of the engine. It's not draining back to the oil pan and getting up there. So we need to fix that. Well, you might be thinking why the front of the engine is that high up. Well, it's because I've tried to fix the bump steer problems and actually fixed those by raising the steering rack high up here. So you can see those spacers there maybe. And because of that, I need to space out the engine quite a bit, maybe 2 centimeters. I don't know if I can show that. There you should be seeing some spacers there, and that's why the engine is so up high. So well, what I need to do? I need to first lower back this steering rack here so that I can lower the engine. And then I need to fix the bump steer problems another way. By the way, I also have the buffless for the oil pan, so I will install those while I working on this. So I have 2 fixes for the oil problem, fixing the engine lean and then putting some buffless on the oil pan. But then to fix the actual steering, I think the steering problem is here. So you can see that the car is now flat like this, but these arms are pointing upwards because of the lowering of the car. I'm not going to raise the car, but I will fix this angle of these control arms because these arms should be level or pointing a little bit downwards. So I need to put something here so that I can lower this end of the control arms, and also I need to lower this tie rod end even more to fix that, and then the lowering of the steering rack. The solution for the problems, or at least I hope so, is this kit that MRT Engineering sent to me. This one here. As you can see, this has the outer ends of the control arms and then the new tie rods. So these will replace this outer end here and lower the outer end of the control arm, and same here. Here is the tie rod. So this will replace that and then lower this outer end of the tie rod also. This also has some adjustment spacers for the bump steer. So I'm really hoping that these are enough so that I can lower my steering rack where it was, so that I can lower the engine also and also fix my oil pressure problems. So I'm really counting on this kit. But yeah, that's what I have and what I need to do. So let's get working. I need to take apart the front end and try to install these, and let's see how it goes. Not. was going to take out the control arms now, maybe press out these joints here to replace with the new ones. But it looks like that the bolts are so tightly packed there that it's almost impossible to get those. So I think I'm now going to support the engine from up and then drop out the subframe and leave the engine hanging in the engine bay. So let's see how I'm going to do that, because I don't have anything to hold on the engine. Okay, turns out that we actually have one of these things. Petri had bought this just recently. I think he has used this once and it has been sitting here. So yeah, now it's time to use this again. I will try to figure out how I will support the engine from the mounts or something, and once that's done, we can drop out the subframe. I should now have the engine supported. I also removed all the bolts that need to come off from bottom. So I think now it's only left those big subframe bolts, and then the subframe should come down. I still have the power steering lines, but again those are so tight, so I will wait that I will drop the subframe a little bit and then take out the power steering lines. But yeah, let's do that. The front subframe is now off the car, so let's remove the control arms. This inner ball joint, this seems fine. It will almost stay where I leave it and feel quite okay. But this one, this is too loose. I can feel something in this, and yeah, you can see that it always returns to the center because of this soft rubber here. So yeah, this is gone. So I need to order both of these new. I will replace those also. Now I am here. This would be okay for some time, but because these are all off now, I will replace both of these. And yeah, these are so dirty, so I will clean these and then let's press out these joints here. The instructions from the MRT, they tell to press these in through the bottom. So it should be this way and something there, maybe that one. Yeah. Then the instructions tell to install these ones on the top. And to use the soft tool and hammer to tighten these. Oh, wrong way. Then these can go in with the castle nuts. Then to tighten these to 120. Okay, those are now in, and that's about what I can do this time. I need to order these ones to continue. So I will now clean up this subframe and install these tie rods here, at least temporary. this needs to be adjusted in the car and then tightened, so there will be here. Almost forgot, I need to remove this steering rack and move these spacers on the top side to lower this rack, and then I hope that these are enough to fix that. It's now a couple of weeks later. I got these Lemferder joints here. These ones. These only go in one way because, well, I will show you. I will take these covers off because it's much easier to install these like that. I did clean this little bit so you can see that there's this kind of notch, so that this only can turn in this direction. So I need to align this with this kind of turning radius. I think there was this notches to guide you, but I have never understood how those work. So I've always just taken this cover off and then aligned this while pressing in so that I have this in the correct angle. Because if I put this like this, you can see it will hit here and it will destroy the joint immediately. So this needs to go in like this. Control arms are now in, so this is ready to go back in the car. But first I need to install the baffle for the oil pan, so let's drop the oil pan now before installing this. Because, well, it will be quite difficult to drop down the pan if this is back on the car. So we'll do that now. Okay, the oil pan is now quite clean. It's not perfect, but I think it's fine. This is the original baffle that came out of here. It's rather small, and there was just some talk in the local Vaska group that this is the old style, and there's a newer style that has hole here. But anyways, I'm not going to use that one because I was traveling in the US and I brought a couple of these ones. So these are aftermarket baffles from Achilles Motorsport. It should be fitting here like this, but well, maybe I check the instructions how to mount this. Drill out rivet, remove plastic grommets, clean. Use extreme caution. Joo. Place. Oil pan, baffle in the place. Weld the baffle in place with minimum 4 or 5 stitch welds. Okay, so this needs to be stitch welded in. Okay, I think it's ready to be welded in. I needed to grind this little bit here to make this fit, but now I think this will fit fine. I will clean out these areas and then stitch weld this in. The baffle is now welded in. I had some troubles welding this because the welder kept sputtering all the time, no matter what I did. I think there's something wrong with that, so I need to get that fixed. But anyways, that's now welded in. These don't look like welds, more like just molten blobs of aluminum. But I think that will stay in. So I can now throw this back on the car. I did also check a couple of those connecting rod bearings, that those are fine. And there was some minor wear, but nothing to worry about. So I did just put everything back there. And I think this engine survived those lower oil pressures just fine. So we can just now put this back on. I have new oil pan seal here, but I think I should use the Stretens zip tie trick to put this on. The oil sump is now back in the car. It was really annoying to install because the oil pickup tube was hitting the new baffle. But I got that eventually in, so that's fine. So now we can finally bolt this back in the car. I will remove these spacers here and it's ready to go back in the car. Subframe is now back in, so time to lower the engine. I will now fill up the engine with the oil before I forget that there is no oil in the engine, and I will go start that. Previously I've been using regular 5W40 oil, but this time I will go with 5W50. Reason being that the 40 weight oil, it starts to thin up when the oil temperature gets higher, and I have heard that this 50 weight, it will not thin up that fast, and I should still get good oil pressure even when the oil gets hot. I have the oil cooler there, but it can still get up to 110 degrees, and that will significantly lower the oil pressure. So I've heard that this 50 weight oil, it has been good middle ground, so that it's not too thick to damage the bearings, but it's still better when the oil is hot. And yeah, it seems to say that this is motorsport oil, so that's only plus. I don't know, is there actually any motorsport in this, but well, I will try these ones. The reason I'm using this Comma oil is just because this was available in the local auto parts store Motonet, directly on the shelves, and this is cheap. So there's no really other reason for me choosing these oils. I did overfill this slightly, just again to prevent the thing to lose oil pressure. These usually take in like 6.5 liters, but I did put in 7 liters. That shouldn't be enough to cause any problems in the engine, so let's see how that works. The car is now ready to put back on these front struts, but before doing that I did clean this up, and also while doing that I did remember that this car has suffered a little bit a problem that when you are cornering it, it will lean to the corners way too much. That's mostly because the roll center is not on the correct location with the lowering, and those MRT engineering pieces should fix that. But I wanted to be sure that that doesn't happen again, and I wanted to upgrade the sway bar. I did look the prices of new ones, and I already have the thicker M Sport 1 sway bar, but still it leans way too much to the corners. And because the new sway bars were too expensive, I decided to modify this one a little bit. So I did add this another hole here towards the pivot point here. So that should make this a little bit stiffer. Also the angle of the sway bar links is a little bit crooked with this stock hole. So with this hole it should be much more straight. Also, these urethane bushing steers were totally stuck there. All the grease had dried up here and it was like not moving at all. So I did clean up these and I will re-grease these when installing. The bushing itself is fine, but because these have been there like 6 or 7 years, all the grease had dried up and it was just stuck here and not rotating at all. So yeah, these urethane bushings, these usually don't go bad, but these are not maintenance free. You need to sometimes take these out, clean out the old grease and re-grease these when putting back. But okay, I think that's fine. I will now throw back the sway bar and then the front struts. And I did remove the springs here so that I can check the bomb steer when everything is back on the car. This now moves nicely, so I can continue assembling all this. Well, yeah, I don't like the angles of these things, so I think I will ditch this original one and change out this to the shorter Mondeo one that has ball joints on both ends, so then this slight angle here shouldn't matter. This is rubber bushing, so this won't last long in this kind of angle. So yeah, I'm not going to install this now, and I will get the Mondeo sway bar links here. Unfortunately, I'm running out of time to work here on garage, so I will stop this video now and continue in the next episode. I think I made good progress here. I only need to reinstall the brakes, check the pump steer, and then do the other maintenance items for the car. So I think in the next video I will do those and then maybe go for test drive to see how this works. So it's still in the middle of the winter here in Finland. So the next video about this would be out maybe a couple of months, maybe 3 months from this. If you are interested how you can do the pump steer alignment, I have older video, so I will link that in the corner. So yeah, if you need that information before the next video comes out, here you can see how that works. But yeah, I think that's enough for this time.